Thank you so much, Jared, for joining me today. For those of you guys watching, listening to the podcast, this is Jared Mattsson. He is the co-founder of Linq, or Linq app, based out of Birmingham, Alabama. Thank you so much for being here today, Jared.
Well, thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure being here.
Absolutely. So I started my business in Birmingham. I have a lot of love for Birmingham creators, founders, entrepreneurs, people who are in that space, in that incredible city. And I'm so happy that you guys are kind of in the tech space, because I don't think that people think of Birmingham as a place for tech startups, right?
Right.
So can you tell me your experience and your story with your co-founder into creating Linq?
Sure. Yeah. And that's exactly it. Birmingham, I don't think that's the first city that comes to mind when people think tech. But thankfully, Shipt really has changed the game for Birmingham in that regard. Shipt, if you're not familiar, it's the same day delivery, grocery delivery. And they were acquired by Target late 2017, which has proved to be huge for Target, especially during COVID. Shipt was a huge part of their business all this past year and continues to be so. But yeah, me and my other two co-founders, we were all early employees at Shipt. My other two co-founders, were way early. My CTO, he developed the first apps for Shipt, and then Elliot, my other co-founder, he got on. He was like the 10th employee. So we got to see what it takes to take a company from nothing, an idea on paper, and have a $550 million exit. So it was huge for the city of Birmingham. Really just stuck a temple in the ground there and said, listen, this is a city where tech can thrive, and companies should really consider this being a place they start their company or move their operation to it. Because of the cost of living, it goes on and on why the city is a great place to do so. So the beginning of Linq, to answer your question, we were looking at doing a couple other ideas. So Elliot's my best friend from college. We've known each other now going on 10 years. We were starting to toy with some ideas ourselves, and wanted to leave Shipt. Shipt, we had done what we wanted to do there, and we were wanting to get out and do our own thing. Had just the itch to do it, and we were exploring some other ideas, and we came to this point where we're like, okay, we need a good way to share it. How are we going to do it? And at that same time, we saw that QR codes could now be scanned with just the camera on your phone without needing a third-party app. And we're like, well, now that's pretty interesting. But before, QR codes, you had to download that app, and then you could scan it and go to wherever someone wanted you to go with that QR code. Not a very good process, pretty clunky and cumbersome, and pretty much the reason why QR codes didn't take off much earlier than now. So we were like, okay, what if we just we throw up a landing page for this idea we're working on, we tie it to this QR code, and that's how we can get people we're talking to someone, they can scan the code on our phone, and then they can go to the landing page. It'll be a quick process. Well, then we were like, well, wait a minute. Like a light bulb went off. We were like, why don't we just have this page that has all of our contact info? Maybe here's our LinkedIn, just to show them our background. And then there's a link to go to the page. We're like, that solves the problem we have. We didn't carry business cards when we were at Shipt, and we sure as hell are not going to make any now for this new idea. We don't even have a company name yet, let alone going to get cards. And we were like, wait a minute, this could be an idea. This could be something. And me and Elliot, we can sure get excited. We're dreamers, visionaries. We could freak out over an idea. And we're like, okay, everyone calm down. Everyone calm down. Let's go home. Let's see what the market has out there. Surely someone has done this, and we'll just go sign up for the service and continue on our way. And we get home, and we're like, you know what? No one has really nailed it yet. No one has really nailed it yet here in this space. And we built a prototype that night. In the early version of Linq, it was just a QR code that would just go on your wallpaper. You would have your phone come to life, have someone scan it, and you would go to this very simple landing page, the first version of Linq. And we showed that to Elliot's family. He's from here in Birmingham. We showed it to them. They all freaked out. So perfect. We got past the family round. They thought it was pretty cool. But when it got interesting, when we went back to Shipt the next day, and then in the following weeks, and we had our coworkers were like, no, wait a minute, could you guys make one for me? That looks awesome. We would love to have that. They had the same problem we did. And we were like, no problem, we can do that. And it started to get a little bit of momentum. We're like, all right, we're solving a pain point, not only for ourselves, but for our coworkers. And so we're like, okay, well, let's spend a little more time on this idea. Let's see what it's got. And we early on realized it was a little aggressive asking people to use the wallpaper for a QR code. That's kind of reserved for their favorite pet or their kids or something. So we're like, okay, we got to figure something out a little bit different than that. And we're like, no, wait, what if we could use the Apple Wallet? You know, the Apple Wallet, that's intuitive. That's where your cards go anyways. And if you have a physical card, we're like, what if we could do something, rig up one of those passes that go in your wallet? And sure enough, we were able to do so. And the early version of Linq had, oh, it's not going to let me show it really well with the light, but we had these Linq cards that would just show up in your Apple Wallet. You just download it into it. And the coolest part about this, you didn't need any app. You didn't need any app to get this card in your wallet, or the other person didn't need to have the app for there to be this exchange of contact info. And that was the MVP of Linq. We came up with the idea in mid-April of 2019, really built Linq on just that product right there, this digital business card that lived in your wallet, took no app for you to exchange the information with someone that you met. And that was enough for us we tested it out at a social that a local organization would put together each month for young professionals to come together. About 150 people. We incentivized them, made it a competition to see who can make the most connections using Linq. And sure enough, it exploded. Everybody was using it at the event. And not only, what was cool was, sure, there was this competitive aspect to it, but we had people after the fact coming up being like, this is exactly what I needed. I never have my cards on me when I need them. When I come to functions like this or events like this, I don't have them. So this is perfect. I mean, I'm going to use this leaving here. And we're like, I'm trying to hold it together. I'm freaking out inside. I'm like, we've done it. We're going to make $10 million tomorrow. Let's go. We just got to go now. And it takes a little bit longer than that. But that gave us the wind in our sails, the momentum to carry through the summer. We really started to put a lot of time, a lot of nights into this idea. And then our big launch was August of 2019. There's a regional tech conference called SLOS Tech that happens in Birmingham. Oh yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And we got to showcase it on stage. You know, the mayor came on, opened up the conference, and then boom, we were able to just get everybody's attention right there. We threw up a QR code on the back screen, kind of walked them through where we came from, what Linq is, what it's going to do, and said, "Have at it, guys. See what you think of it." And we had over 1,000 people get on Linq that day. Made tons of connections. The app pretty much crashed during the early afternoon. We're freaking out backstage. It was one of the best days of my life, and also one of the most intense, stressed days of my life. I think I went through 3 Linq shirts that day. It's crazy. It was crazy. But we left that day with 2 paid deals that equaled enough for me and Elliot to pay our rent for October. And we were like, okay, we're out. That's enough runway for us, at least. We're out. We left Shipt a few weeks later and went full time on it. Patrick, it took him a few more months to pull the trigger. He's the more conservative, the pragmatic one of the group, which is good. He helps balance us out. So he held on a little bit longer, but soon after jumped on full time as well. So we went into the end of 2019, going into 2020 as this lightweight networking solution to where you didn't need an app, like I've said. And it really became, there was a lot of energy coming from events or people coming out of the woodwork saying, yo, my event of 5,000, we would love to have this for all of our attendees. Can you guys do it? And we were like, yes, we can. What, you want it on the badge? Sure, we make badges, let's do it. And so we're just innovating, creating things on the fly. And by the time we got around to like early 2020, we were ready to raise our seed round. We had become this, like, it was shaping up to be this lightweight lead capture solution for events. And we're like, okay, that's a great go-to-market strategy. We delight them with Linq at the conference. They leave the conference with Linq on their phone. They're enjoying it. What are they going to do? They're going to go back to their place of business and be these ambassadors of Linq and want to get their company on it. And boom, we'll explode. We're like, okay, that makes sense. We convinced some investors that made sense too. And we just took off. And sure enough, 3 weeks later, we closed in like the first week of March. Like 3 weeks later, everything shut down. Not an event to be seen in sight, and because of COVID hitting, and then we all went into quarantine, and then we were sitting there like, okay, what's the next steps here for our networking app with no one networking? And we're like, okay, we got this. It's okay. We settled down. We were like, all right, we believe in this thing. Things are going to get back to normal eventually. Let's just not freak out. Let's focus on the things on the software side that we want to get done. Let's move up the timeline on those, hunker down, knock those out, and then be ready to go once everything kind of opens back up. And that's what we did for early parts of the summer of 2020. And then we started seeing some buzz around like these NFC products, these NFC-enabled products where you just tap it. It's much like it's the same technology that's in your credit card or debit card when you tap at a POS system. We're like, okay, well, that's pretty cool. Let's see if, it's a contactless way of connecting as well. Let's see how the market responds to it if we put out a few different products. So in July, we launched the Linq card, the Bamboo card, the Linq tap that goes on the back of your phone, and our first bracelets, the first version of the Linq bracelet. And we sold out immediately. It was insane. We're like, okay, well, all right, we can do this. We can make product. That's what people want. Let's do it. And it turned into being the hook, like where people they just got it. Like there was a niche of people that really liked just completely moving to a digital business card. But then we saw that there was this larger market of people that wanted something new, like something more cutting edge, something that did have a digital component to it, but wanted something tangible, wanted something physical that they could still be theirs, that they're like connecting with someone in person with. And we're like, all right, that makes sense. I can see why someone would want that. And we leaned into it. Launched several new products over the course of the second half of 2020, and it's been exploding ever since. And now we just launched the Linq Band a few weeks ago, the Linq Band for your Apple Watch. Love that. I've got mine going right here. That one's been super successful already. People love it. The wearables are really, really exciting. People see that and it's just like, all right, that makes sense. It's on me. I don't have to think about it. Boom, someone can tap with me and connect. And that brings us to where we're at right now in terms of Linq history.
Yeah. So you took us through like the whole, like, yes, your story, but like the evolution of like this company from like dominating someone's home screen, which is a lot to ask, to being like, oh, you're here. Here's a bracelet. Like, you know. That's awesome. So I have to show you guys off for people who are here and maybe not super like visual, or if you're listening right now. So I actually have the Linq Bamboo card. This is a super sleek packaging that it comes in. Awesome, sleek packaging, sleek design.
Shine, card, shine.
So one thing too that I love about the Bamboo card is you buy one and they plant a tree for every Bamboo card that you buy. So I love that sustainability aspect. Call me a sucker for the environment, but here we are. It works. It got me hooked, right? And so, yeah, I loved it. I bought one for a person that works with me in my business. So like you said, like once one business person gets it and they love it, it kind of just like grows on its own, because you want to share it with people and you want them to keep sharing it and keep that thing going. And one thing that I like about it as someone who uses Instagram pretty heavily is like there are a lot of different links that you can use in your Instagram bio to take people to different places, right? There's Linktree, there's Campsite, there's Link with 2 eyes, there's like all these different things. But like once you go outside of Instagram and want to share all these different landing pages with people, you really don't have that opportunity. And so the card kind of bridges the two. So I can use that link online, but I can also use it as a landing page on the card or on the smart products that you guys offer. So that was the kind of a good selling point to me. If anybody's watching this and it's like, well, how can I apply this to my life? If I'm maybe an influencer or something like that, this is how you do it. So can you tell me a little bit more, like, I know events are not happening, but networking is still happening to a very large degree. It may just look a little bit different now. So can you tell me what people's responses have been to using it online more in that networking sphere?
Well, you nailed it. I mean, we added to where you could have a link handle per se, where it's that, like for me, it's linkapp.com/Jared. So I have this personal URL that I can share with people, much like a link tree, to where I can centralize all my content in one place. You know, I have that one link that I can share, put it up on Instagram, which is where mine is at right now. And that was huge. People were like, well, yeah, obviously I'm still networking, but I just have to do it in a different way now. It's a much more digital experience. So on top of that, we also introduced Zoom backgrounds for any meeting that you're taking, to where you can just throw it up behind you, and it'll have like a QR code right here. That's your link QR code. And someone's able just to scan that while they're sitting here in the meeting and connect with you right there while you're talking. Or you're able just to, like I said, you can share your link URL right into that meeting and be able to connect with them in that way.
Mm-hmm. So one thing that I think is also really unique about this, and this is kind of going into how you're structuring a business, how you market a business, and how you just kind of get people involved. So in various levels of commitment, right? Because somebody can just have the app, like the link profile, and not have a smart product, and not really be engaged on the Link Lounge, which is like you guys' own kind of networking community within Link. And then they can also be like super into it. They can have like the Apple Watch, they could have a card that they keep with them, they could have the QR code readily available on their phone, like they could have the whole nine. So one thing that I love is that, again, from that lowest level of engagement, you have opportunities for people to grow in terms of their level of commitment within Link. Right, so you're always having a point where everybody can engage. So people doing something for free or doing something paid. And you also have Link Pro. So can you tell us more about Link Pro and why you have certain features that are paid only?
Yes, exactly. So like you said, we want to create a product that could deliver a complete experience, even if you didn't want anything to do with the physical products. Maybe you are one of those people from that niche market that we identified early on, that just wanted a completely digital business card. Perfect. That's what got us off the ground. We can still deliver a great product in that regard. And then up to like our cards, that maybe that's for someone that's still thinking of it, like they just want like a quick replacement to business cards, or where it makes it just an easy transition, rather is a better way to describe it, where it's like, okay, instead of my business cards, I've got now this Link card, or maybe you're someone that's like more active, more out there all the time. You never have cards. You don't even carry cards. You don't carry a wallet or anything. Well then, but you're like, I love wearing bracelets. I love the wearables. So I'll have either the Link bracelets or the Link band for the Apple Watch. Just wanted to make sure that we offered a full suite of options for people to network how they want to network. And then once they get on the platform and they're seeing just the value that it's driving for them to have all their content in one place, we then wanted to offer more enriched features that we can put out there with Link Pro. And with Link Pro, you get to like embed your videos, or you get to add one of your calendar integration. So right now, one of ours is Calendly. I love it. I use it all the time. It's just sitting there right on my page. Someone can book a meeting with me right from there. And then, with Link Pro, you're able to make up to 5 pages within one account. So what that means is I can easily swap between my personal one, where it's got like maybe my Instagram and my Facebook's on that page, and my personal number, I can just easily swap over to my business one that has maybe LinkedIn's on that one, and then my company email is the only thing I've got live on there. And I can easily swap between them, and it instantly will switch where my product's pointing someone to. So literally I could be in a conversation right now and be like, I want you to have my business one, I want you to have my personal one, and I'm going to give you my fake one. So you can have it all set up how you'd like to have it set up, and then And that's all available through Pro. At the free level, you do get to make a second page. So we allow you to have 2 pages on the free one to get a kind of a feel for what that's like. So that's our offering with Pro. That's what we're trying to push there right now.
Okay. Yeah, awesome. I love that. So I guess going back to the spirit of being a tech company and making this a very community-centered product, right? It's a very social product. And I think one of the, I guess, gripes or maybe complaints or critiques of the tech industry is that it's kind of this like very niche community for people that can't afford it. And I feel as though Linq is in their own way bridging that gap for a lot of people. Because like you said, you're in a place in Birmingham where the cost of living is fairly affordable in comparison to cities of its size. You know, they have their own set of social events. They have Sloss Tech, which is incredibly fun, even if you're not like super tech savvy, right? It's for everyone. I still haven't been, but I really, really want to go. They've had like Casey Neistat, who was like the YouTuber that people know. And so it's a fun experience, right? You're creating an experience, you're creating a social selling product, you're creating a business product. And so what are some things that you see on the horizon in terms of the tech industry kind of blending with how people use, like how people live their life? I feel like in some ways we kind of got away from products that are feasible and accessible to people who need them the most because of the price point. So can you talk a little bit about like your thought process on that? You don't have to give us any spoilers for Linq, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's all proprietary information, what you guys are doing, but like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that you're exactly right. Like the price point is huge. Like we wanted Linq to be available to anybody, you know, so that's why we have the digital business card. If you just want that experience, it's free. It's right there for you. And then if you get into where you want this physical card, you want this NFC-enabled product, whatever one you choose, we wanted it to be not only great, but the most competitive price you're going to find. You're not going to find a price for the bracelet that's better than ours. First off, we got copycats trying to make this happen. They've still not nailed it. Guys, keep trying though. If you do end up listening to this, I hope the best for you. But no one's been able to deliver the quality that we put out there, and at the price point that we're doing it. And the quality is important. We're asking someone to represent themselves with Linq. You know, that's a tall order. You gotta deliver a high quality product. And you go back to like what a business card's more than just this piece of paper. For a lot of people starting their own business, it's a big step to go order that business card. There's something to it. There's something personal to it. There's something where you're like, it becomes real. It becomes real. All of a sudden, my logo, my company name, me, like here it says Jared owner is sitting on that card. Like the business card has meant a lot there's no way you can just think about it as just this paper card that you're ready to replace. That's why no one has done it to this point, you know, because it's been such an important part of like just of our society, how you connect with people. So to be able to actually be able to uproot something like that, you have to deliver a product that can still deliver that kind of personal experience, like what that physical product did. And that's what we're trying to accomplish, and what we are accomplishing with the Linq products, to where you can get this Linq card that connects with someone, that leaves that impression like, wow, that's cutting edge, that's pretty cool. And then boom, it opens up to your page where it's got a big picture of who you are. And then your work or whatever you want that person to know about you is all in this one place, just all crafted for them to see. And then if you want to take it a step further, you can then customize your Linq card. That's also one of our offerings. And we just opened up to where you can now do it for the bamboo card. So if you want that sustainable option and you want to have your logo on that card, you can do so. It's available now. But yes, to answer what you're saying, that's kind of the things that are driving us. We want to get this in as many people's hands as possible. So we're keeping that price as competitive as it can be, and then continuing to maintain a high level of quality with what we deliver.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that with me and sharing your story with me, sharing Linq with us. Check the link in the description to get 15% off their smart order. Shameless plug. I think everybody should have this. I think it's an incredible, incredible product. an incredible profile that just integrates so well with how I live and how I work and how I do business. So thank you, Jared, for joining me today.
Angela, thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure.